Hi, this is Colorful Foresight where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo woo time where we connect our woo woo into our mundane living. Hi, this is Sylvia Colorful Foresight, and here we have Dance with Angela. How are you doing?
Good, Sylvia. How are you?
Speaking of good, we have good news. So
Oh,
this is
good.
for your entertainment purposes only. Remember, always go with your intuition and what resonate with you. So today we're going to talk about good news because there's just so many people who focusing on the not so good news because you have to get in the habit of not finding good news boring.
So I wanted to share a miracle. It is a miracle of a dust bowl in country New South Wales. They've been able to, because we've got the increasing heat coming in Australia, but we've already had a lot of heat in Australia that creates heaps of desert. 90% of the country is desert. So this place is basically desert. They've been able to manifest a tropical forest in 1 hectare of land through these incredible techniques inspired by Ernst Gosch, who's a Swiss dude that worked in Brazil. And some Australians were able to study with a student of Ernst, take these techniques. So it's an international framework which has actually allowed a local community to transform from a really dire situation, because basically the land is so dry there that if you get rain, it just rolls off the land, and they can create a whole rainforest, tropical oasis there.
So that's a perfect example. I know I've seen other countries do that too. Like I think in India they were doing something where it's very dry, and this guy was able to create an ecosystem. I know that people in their own house, they have this big tank, and they create their own ecosystem. During the pandemic of 2020 and 2021, they saw how the air got pure, and the water got clearer. So that gave them some ideas how maybe we could try um, reverse and engineer to clean. So this is good news because we focus on the reality check is climate change, and sometimes we have a habit thinking, oh, it won't happen, or it could be irreversible. Some things are not. So right now, for some reason, the card is 7 is stored. It's like a thief card. We got to remind ourselves what are we ripping off the possibility by not doing the good news, because the drama, like I get caught up about complaining and what's going on in the news. But every time, look at this card and go, how am I ripping the possibility of good news by not sharing the good news, by not being aware to get in the habit of talking about good news, and maybe by realizing, oh, there are more 4-day work week happening more in the USA, and there are countries like in Australia and around the world that creating this. You were saying like the land itself couldn't even absorb the rain. Now it can.
Yeah. Well, this pocket, this hectare where they've generated the rainforest, it's got a little oasis, a pool, more than a pool, a lake sort of thing, that then feeds all the plants. So how's that even possible?
Here's another one. I think I shared it. I'm not sure, but I'll mention it again. They're the creators, inventors, and forgot the name of the company, but maybe I'll show it. He created a technique on a boat where they have this huge net, and they go in the ocean and they collect all the plastic. There's so much plastic. We're starting already seeing some countries that are very good with recycle. So there are a lot of inventors that are doing things. I remember there was an inventor who created this type of mushroom, and he would put it in landfill, and they would make the landfill into good soil. So we know this. I mean, you probably have thoughts that come into you that are watching this, but why are we not promoting that? And why is it boring sometimes? Because it's not an action film. Some of you might be like, no, I find it interesting. That's great. We need more of you like that. How can we be better at receiving good news,
Yeah.
being the good news, and witnessing it.
So I got the courage, and this being is that part of us that goes out and does stuff and doesn't care about what others think. And it's connected to the crystal bloodstone. These are the crystal ally cards. So bloodstone, and if you can think of our recent Game of Thrones, but that idea of dragon's blood, or what is that part of us that just is willful and happy to be alive and joyful about what we're putting out there, and you're not worried about what other people think, and you're just so joyful in that. So courage is a piece of us that's it's not about action movies where you're going in and killing the anti-hero. It's a courage everyday courage to just be more joyful in your focus and be more strategic in where you put your focus, and being yourself, not getting caught up in that cycle of society that wants to complain and pull things down. I think we just have to look at what we feel about joy as well. That's a big thing that I'm picking up, because sometimes people think joy is as a fake emotion. They have these ideas of it, but actually you can experience incredible happiness just hearing good news, being that good news. That is itself a big expression of joy. But we think because you're not over the moon and laughing or smiling like the images on social media that you're not happy. But joy is something that it's in us, but we may not acknowledge it.
You know what came to mind? Well, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, sometimes people make it joy. Like if you're happy, they think you're weird. Like, why are you so joyful? Like, what did there be joyful about? You know, there's some people who are like, oh, look at that clown being happy and joyful. Though, I mean, we have moments where like they're having fun, but that's the courage of maybe even looking silly, even though it's not silly, of being joyful. Look, the person like so bored, like, yeah, whatever. Instead of like appreciating or being part of it, maybe that's the courage to maybe see things in a different way, or even to look silly, with the death card, it's like a rebirth, like being a different way, maybe part of your personality, it to be like that, not all happy and joyful, but not in a fake way. It's just balancing it out, the good news, so we are able to handle the not so good news. And when it comes, if you only focus on the bad news, there's no way we could. It overtakes the good news. That we you have somebody who lives in a house and they have everything, but they're still miserable because they're only focusing on maybe the terrible job, maybe the terrible marriage, but they have a roof over their head, they have food, they have family that they could go to. Maybe they can have lunch with a friend. Like, it's like that dichotomy. That's the right word?
Dichotomy, yeah.
Like a lot of people feel lonely, or it's just that. I don't know, but for sure, we just need more good news. So that's great. Before we go, can you tell me about your program? That for everybody, whether it's online.
Talking about joy, Dance for Joy.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? That's exactly it. So tell me.
Maybe I was tapping into that. Okay. So in Dance for Joy, we have people coming together live. I also have it as an online class for anyone who can book through the booking platform that I have. If you want to have it for yourself, we can do it with me and you one-on-one, or with anyone in a group. And in Sydney, I'm doing live classes where we get together and experience what is it that interaction of each other when we're dancing. And I use lots of world movement forms, Sufi, Mid-Eastern, Serbian dance, Afro Samba, a lot of circle dances, but actually interactive exercises. So we can just begin to feel what it's like to be in a space with other people and allowing ourselves to just experience our own natural energy. And in that, it can be a quiet joy, it can be a powerful joy that's soft, or it can be like an energetic joy. So the Dance for Joy workshops are very unique. They're just based on whoever shows up. It's about you, your energy, similar to you, Sylvia, with how you're doing these videos, which is about you. When I watch your videos, I experience things that I didn't know were there inside of me. So Dance for Joy is about that. What are we creating together in a space using the world movement forms of world dance, Sufi, and body mind centering and Qigong? It's a bit of a melange.
Well, what great is that the online one is ongoing. And by now, I know you have one coming up in October, as far as in person in Sydney. But if you're watching the video after that date, remember she'll have others.
Yeah.
She'll have others locally, and she'll have others online. So, what is that particular link that they could go to?
For Sydney, it's a bit.ly link, or you can go to dancewithangela.com/events. And I've got the live workshops there now for October, November, and then I'll have in Sydney, and then I'll have the online in dancewithangela.com/events.
Great.
Thanks, Sylvia.